Good evening, everyone. My name is Rob Harrison. I've just come to talk about things to look for when you're doing either in inspections or even when you're buying houses. And everybody else mainly been talking about condensation at the moment tonight, which is being produced from within the property. Dampness produced from within the property. I want to talk about what to look for on the outside of a property when you're doing your inspections. Hopefully you are. Things to look out for, because at the moment we're in the middle of the winter now. It's been snowing today. We've got ice. We've got snow. We've got rain. We've got wind, and they're battering our properties, our assets. At the end of the day, we've all spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on buying houses. We spend another tens of thousands of pounds doing them up, but that's not the end of it. If you just leave them alone, they will just deteriorate. They're constantly deteriorating with the elements. So what I want to do, I just want to go through. I go around looking at houses all the time, and I just take photos and make observations. So I just want to go through a lot of photographs tonight about what I see when I go around, and hopefully when you go around, you can identify, and it's easy to fix a simple problem right at the beginning than wait until you've got penetrating damp later on and you've got major renovations inside. As I say, penetrating damp, and it was explained before, is basically moisture, water that's getting from the outside of the building to the inside of the building, whether that's from through the roof, through the walls, through any cracks in the walls, anything like that. So that's what it's about, as opposed to condensation. However, dampness on the outside of the walls will reduce that surface temperature, which then can produce condensation on the inside. So they can go hand in hand. And to be honest, it's really difficult to know which is condensation and which is penetrating damp. It can be really difficult. Majority of the houses in this country, it's pretty obvious, but they have pitched roofs, and the reason for that is it's to get the water away from the house. Water and houses, as we've been talking about tonight, they don't mix. So that's the whole point of a pitched roof. If we allowed water to just run off the roof, it would run down the walls and splash off the ground. That one there hasn't got a gutter on at all that I went round to see. It was probably ripped off by snow, and that's the resulting damage that it's caused down below there. When it's run down that wall, it's splashed off, and it's splashed off the ground, soaked into the wall. Freeze-thaw reaction takes place over a period of time, and then that's just popped all that render off there. That kitchen in there was absolutely soaking. Made a few notes. What I want to talk about is when you're going around to check your houses. It might not be feasible to go around and have a look at all your own houses, depending on how many you've got, or you may not manage them. You may go through agents. What you could do, what I would encourage you to do, whether you do it or not, is once a year ask your tenants to actually take photographs of your house, of their house, their home, should I say, your house, front and back, the roof, the both elevations and the ground area below there. And from those photos, if they send them through to you, you can make observations and you can make decisions on what you want to do. Because believe me, you will see things happen from one year to the next. Something that wasn't a problem one year will be there the next year. Not all your houses, but it will happen. I just want to go through to see some photographs and just show what you can what things that are going on. If you've got houses with trees, especially tall trees, the gutters will get blocked. I guarantee this will happen. And now it may take a year or two, but blocked leaves will it'll stop the flow of water down the downpipes, and it will overflow over the top of the gutter and down the wall as we got here. That's this the running outlet there is blocked probably with leaves or silt or whatever, and it just goes down there, and with it you will get penetrating down these walls there. This is actually my house. Whether it clears or not, I don't know.
It's worked in the trial.
Oh, how are I doing?
Press there, well, there's not even a button for that. Well, so
What's that?
it's been so button up.
2 seconds.
This is meant to be a video that plays, which worked in the trial earlier.
Yeah, my house gets blocked every year with leaves, and whether you can see it down there, that's that area there. It's blocked with leaves, and the water is just pouring over the top and down the side of my house. As it happens, it was a thunderstorm and lightning, and I went out there and I thought I was going to get killed.
Killed by the lightning?
Oh, yeah.
Or by Shirley? Get out, you stupid man.
Actually, I hadn't seen it. I thought when I was up ladders, got my hand down there, but it was still with lightning.
Sorry, that's cool.
And it's not just right. It's not just that I've been talking about the top of the gutters there, but again down below, a lot of gutters will downpipes will go into the gullies, which is it should do. A lot of them will discharge onto the ground below there, which is not a good thing at all. But these gullies down below there, the yard gullies will get blocked up as well, again with silt or with leaves, and a lot of them like that. When they're in the against the wall, the paths will be sloping towards that to take the water into there. However, if these get blocked, you're going to have standing water down there. So when you're going around or you get your photos taken or whatever, just look at the base of the building as well. For if there's vegetation growing, you've got water. So it's worthwhile getting those, making sure those are clear, and it will just flow away, and there won't be a problem. Here's another one here that's blocked. That's full of water there. Again, all it needs doing there is cleaning that. There's a bend in the bottom of there. There's either a trap or there's a U-bend in the bottom of there, and it's and all you need to do is clear that out. I'll tell you a little story. My first argument with my wife, or well, it was my she wasn't my wife there. She moved into the property with me, and she brought all her stuff. And I was going around, and actually in our house I was busy cleaning these gullies out. It was ripping my fingers apart. So I went into the house and said, "What can I've got to have something in here." So anyway, I found this soup ladle, which is it's ideal. However, it wasn't my soup ladle. It was her stainless steel soup ladle that she brought down. So she came out and said, "What was I doing?" When she saw this thing was all scraped on the bottom, right? So it was we had words, or she had words, should I say? Again, I don't know whether you can make it out, but on the other side of the of that downpipe there, where at the bottom of the render, below the render, it's a darker colour than the left-hand side of the render. That's telling me it's damp. Now, that can cause penetrating damp there. A lot of people put below the render there, they actually fill in the bricks with cement, thinking they're stopping the penetrating damp getting in. It's actually stopping water getting out. It's stopping the moisture that's in the brickwork evaporating, and that's causing a problem. I can talk all night about that sort of thing, but we're only talking about the colours at the moment. And another thing as well, as you can see around the corner there, it's green. around the bottom corner, around the corner of the building. If it's green, it's wet. So if you see situations like this, just get it cleared, get the gullies cleared, get the water away from the house as most efficiently as you can. And again, talking about gutters again, you can see the vegetation hopefully it's coming out over the top in 3 or 4 different places on there. Again, if gutters aren't cleared, it will just build up over a period of time, over a period of years. And again, you know, grasses and ferns and whatever will just grow to there. The water it's impossible for the water off the roof to get down the downpipes. So therefore, it will just flow over the walls onto the ground, and you will get penetrating damp. I don't know whether it's worthwhile asking whether your tenants have got window cleaners, because you can ask them to clean the gutters once a year. You pay for it. At the end of the day, it's your house, it's your property. Or if they haven't, just get a local handyman, somebody with ladders, a roofer. They'll come round and clean it out. It's protecting your property. And this is the one that I went to see. I mean, there's nothing going to go down the downpipe there. And inside this property there was absolutely, it was just soaking. And this is the type of thing you're looking for as well. I mean, it's obvious when it's obvious when it's raining. At this gutter there, I didn't know when I went around there whether it's blocked, whether it's broken, whether there's a seal missing, whatever. I don't know. But that house inside of there is penetrating damp. It's absolutely soaking wet inside. And for the sake of I don't know, 50 quid to go and get a roofer up there to fix that gutter. The problems that are in there is going to cost thousands of pounds to fix now. So it's just a matter of going round, you say your properties, just checking them. Even if it's not raining and it's not wet, what you will find on this property there are properties that have got problems coming from the gutter. They will be stained. Now, whether that's stained brickwork, stained stone, stained render, they will be staining on them. And once you see that, you know you have a problem. You will need to fix it before it's a proper problem. Or if you see some staining on the ground, anything when you go around like that, just look straight up. It could be a block gutter. It could be a seal in a junction in the gutter. It could be an overflow. It could be a water tank in the loft overflowing. Just get it fixed, because it will cause rising damp. The way this person fixed this one was to put a wheelie bin underneath. And when I got there, this wheelie bin was full, and it was splashing off the top of that. I spilled it out to get rid of it. But it was splashing at the top of the water, and it was splashing further up the wall, and it'll be causing penetrating damp in there. Right, this is the one I went to see. It's the same photo I just showed you too, because can you see on the left-hand side there, from the top, you see the black streaks running down the render. Now this is telling me straight away, as soon as I pulled up, and I know we've got penetrating damp problems here. I didn't even go anywhere near the property. I did. But you can also see up the top right-hand corner here, where it's obviously been, it's just soaked into it, and then, as I mentioned before, you get freeze thaw action, and the ice gets in behind it, and then when it freezes, it just pushes the render off the front. What I did to this one, actually, I just went up to the, I checked it as well, and I just tapped it. And that's how it sounded like. It was hollow. That all that render had come away from the backing. It needs taking down. It's going to come down itself at some stage. So what I did actually, I'll give you a tip if you see anything like that, and you're amazed how often you'll come across it, is when I went up to the wall to tap it and have a look at it, I looked straight up. Now, I don't know whether you can make that out, but between the wall and the gutter, I can see the sky. Okay? Now, either when that gutter's been put on, it hasn't been fitted correctly, and the slates on the roof actually don't go into the gutter itself. And I apologise, and I've no doubt this doesn't happen, but I see it regularly. That gutter's aren't fitted correctly. But so that water there is running off the roof and running down the front, which I knew I was going to see something like that. It was either blocked or something like that. But not only is it running down the front of the render, it's getting the render only goes near the up to the top there, but it's actually getting down behind the render as well. So it's running down the inside of the wall, behind the render to the outside wall, and it's soaking through. It's creating penetrating damp in there, and that's inside the wall there, down below. And again, I apologise if there's any damp specialists in here, but this was diagnosed as rising damp, and with a damp course and a tanking system to be put in there. No, it just needs a gutter fixing. It probably needs the render taking off as well and the wall drying out. And depending on how serious this plaster is there, it may well just dry out itself. If it's got salts in there, it may need taking off and fixing. Again, when you're looking at your photos, you're looking for any staining. Now, this one isn't a gutter. This one is from it's in the toilet, and the ball cock is stuck. Now that's been running down there for I don't know how long. It must have been, I don't know, at least a year. But inside the kitchen area there was absolutely soaking wet. Now, I know it's a cavity wall you'd expect it wouldn't get in, but it is. It's getting through whichever way. Water can jump across cavities, whether it's blocked, whether it's through diffusion. There are ways of moisture getting across a cavity. But yeah, you're looking for all sorts of things when you're going around your properties. And again, on the left-hand photo there, just on the bottom, it's damp. You can see it's like splashing up this fence, splashing up the wall. We've got rising damp in there. Sorry, we've got penetrating damp in there. Damp specialists would say we've got rising damp. We haven't. We've got penetrating damp. And I looked straight up, and there's an overflow from a tank in the loft there. And this should play, Martin.
Won't press anything. Who said do it? Someone tried to call for it.
Something as simple as that. There's a splashing on the ground there, and that's causing penetrating damp. There's damp in the kitchen in that house there, and it's going to cost whatever it is to fix it now. The units were soaking on the inside and everything. And again, when you're looking at your properties, just check the gutters. As I said before, I've seen so many times when gutters aren't fitted correctly. They're either sloping the wrong way. Just make sure they're sloping the right way. They may look okay, but actually where that arrow's pointing there, now there's a union there, but it's also bowing as well. So it could be that the fascia bracket has come away. But what's happening is the water actually isn't getting to the downpipe. It's just dripping from there. It looks okay at first glance, but quite often they're not. It does bow in the middle there, and the resultant damage is on the right hand side there where it's pointing. There's actually an air brick there as well. It's just splashing on the ground, and it's splashing inside the property into the cavity, and it's causing damage in there. For the sake of get the roof out, 50 quid to fix the gutter, put a new fissure bracket on. Otherwise, it's causing a lot of problems, a lot of money, a lot of heartache. And again, look for any vegetation at high level. If there's a fern growing there, it's only growing because it's wet. For some reason, the water is missing that gutter, whether it's coming over the top, whether it's facing the wrong way, I don't know what it is, but it's damp up there. And you can also see staining. When I was talking about staining before, look for any staining on your walls. It's darker right on that corner there. There's actually pointing missing out of there as well, which has been flushed out. So again, it's a 5-minute job for a roofer to fix, but it's causing £1,000 worth of damage inside. These are our houses that we need to look after. And this is the same one as well. I don't know whether you can. It's actually right in the top left-hand corner. I don't know if you can make it out, but there's ferns growing there as well. It just needs. Mind you, you've got to have ladders over the top of that little conservatory thing there. But it's there's water running down that wall there, causing problems inside. As I said, some are obvious and some are not so obvious when you go around. Okay. Now, I went to this house. I think it was in Cheltenham somewhere, and honestly, inside that kitchen there was absolutely soaking. Now, that tree that was actually growing out the hopper halfway down the downpipe, and it was just totally blocking the downpipe. Obviously, nobody's been around there to inspect that for many a year, I don't think. But it was causing real problems inside, a lot of damage inside that house. And this is the one just around the corner from me. Actually, I just noticed it because I walked my dog around that way. The left-hand photo there, again, this obviously when I went around, because this is what I do. I just look at things when I'm walking around. I like that.
You must be great if people invite you to the barbecues or something. All right.
I'm going to be careful. I'm taking photos of people's houses, mate. I didn't survey this one. It was just in the street. I said, "Oh, there's water running." I said, "Oh, there's water dripping from the valley there." And it's obviously just missing the gutter a little bit for whatever reason. And this one here was about 3 or 4 months later. So it just shows that it's spreading not only outwards, it's spreading inwards as well. This is a relatively new house, but again, if you see staining on down the render or anything, on down the render, you know there's an issue there. And if it gets too far, we've even got, this has obviously been running down there for a good while. We've now got moss or lichen or whatever it is growing down that render. It's damaged inside. That's been going on for a number of years, and it's quite a major renovation inside that room there. And I must admit, this is mine. This is one of my HMOs, which I'm mortified about. Because what I did, I thought I was doing well. I got the gutters all renewed. But I didn't go around and check that it was working correctly after it all been done. And the roofing contractor he was about 3 or 4 inches short off the end of the gutter. I was running down the roof and then running down the corner of this backyard area here. And you can see that the vegetation on the wall there shows how wet it is. Now that's grown in a few months, to be honest, because I got a phone call saying that there was a bedroom just inside of there, and it was black. It was black inside. Now. Again, we sorted it out straight away. All we had to do was extend the gutter by 4 inches, and the whole thing dried out. Clean up inside, and the whole thing just dried out. one of the solutions is, I've just popped up on there, is something called gutter guard, brush guard. It's like a loo roll on a brush, and it just pops inside of the gutter. And there are other systems as well with a leaf guard that you can actually put across the top of the gutter, which I don't recommend, to be honest, because they just get leaves on the top of there, and then the water flows straight over the top. But the leaves get stuck on the top of this, and the water still allows the water to percolate down the back of it. And then when the leaves dry, I've no doubt they must disintegrate or they fly away. But that works well for keeping the gutters clear of leaves if you've got an issue with tall trees. And I just pulled up a little bit of government data which we've been talking about before. This was a few years ago, to be honest, so it might be a little bit out of date, but I'm sure it won't be that far out of date. That in this country is 3.5 million homes don't reach the minimum standard for is the government's decent home standard. And I'll be honest, the government's decent home standard isn't all that high. But there's 3.5 million homes don't reach that. Of that, 2.5 million homes are category 1, which is a serious harm of harm or death. And then I think I brought out some figures before there, but the ones I came up with, it's 600,000 rented properties have mould and damp issues. All I'm saying is, don't be this statistic. Look after our houses. It's our money that's invested there. And that's it, I think. Unless I was going to say anything else on that subject, but that's me done, I think.
Rob's forgot to say that he does actually run a course on how to spot this type of thing.
If anything out that I've said is of any interest, I am going to be running some courses this year on what to look for when we go around property. I did make those actually of what it covers. If it's of any interest, because I look at roofs, I look at guttering and stuff like that, but in more detail, and we go through cracks, wall construction, wall tie failure, trees with subsoils, subsidence, drainage, penetrating damp, condensation, sulfate attack, insulation issues, which we've been talking about tonight, because that's important as well. And we go things like wet rot, dry rot, and a host of other things. So I do run those courses if anybody's interested. And I am going to be thinking about, or I'm going to be going out and about with a small group of people, if anybody's interested, actually going into properties and actually dissecting, so we can actually, as opposed to looking at photographs, we can actually look at actual things that are going wrong within properties and how to rectify them. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.